On this channel, I like to explore ideas, run experiments, and share what I've learned from using Renko Charts. When I first discovered Renko Charts several years ago, I thought they were going to help me find better buy and sell signals. I spent countless hours experimenting with indicators, testing strategies, and even writing Pine scripts in TradingView to see if I could automate my ideas. Some strategies looked promising. Others failed completely. And many times, simple buy and hold performed just as well, or even better. At first, that felt disappointing. But over time I realized something important. I had been asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, can Renko help me beat the market? I should have been asking, can Renko help me make better decisions? That realization completely changed how I use Renko Charts today. In this video, I want to share 5 lessons that completely changed the way I look at the market. Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome back to the Renko Trading channel. Before we start, this content is for educational and experimental purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. When I used candlestick charts, I found myself reacting to almost everything. Every candle seemed important. Every pullback looked scary. Every breakout felt urgent. Renko Charts removed much of that noise. Instead of reacting to every little movement, I started focusing on the bigger trend. That alone made trading feel much less stressful. Let me show you a real example using the S&P 500. These are the exact same market over the exact same period. The only difference is how the information is presented. Let's start with the candlestick chart. Looking at the most recent price action, I can clearly see that the strong rally has slowed down. Over the past several weeks, the market appears to be moving mostly sideways. As I look at this chart, I naturally start asking myself questions. Is this simply a pause before the next move higher? Or is the uptrend beginning to lose momentum? Has the trend actually changed? Looking only at the recent price action, it's not immediately obvious. Now let's look at the exact same market using Renko. My perspective changes almost immediately. Instead of focusing on whether the market has been moving sideways over the past few weeks, I immediately notice that the larger uptrend is still intact. Yes, there have been a couple of pullbacks. But those pullbacks haven't changed the overall trend. The sequence of higher swing highs and higher swing lows is still there. So instead of asking whether the short-term movement is important, I'm asking a much simpler question. Has the primary trend changed? Based on what I see here, my answer is no. The candlestick chart encourages me to focus on daily price action. The Renko chart encourages me to focus on the overall trend. This is exactly what I meant when I said I stopped watching every price movement. Renko doesn't eliminate risk. What it does, at least for me, is help me separate normal market noise from meaningful changes in trend. I'm not trying to figure out what the market is doing today. I'm trying to understand what trend the market is in. One of the biggest surprises was how much more patient I became. Renko charts don't constantly demand your attention. Sometimes nothing happens. And that's okay. I learned that not trading is often a perfectly good decision. Waiting for a clearer trend usually produces better decisions than forcing trades because I feel like I need to do something. Let me show you what I mean with a real example using Tesla. Tesla had been in a very strong downtrend. The stock fell from nearly $500 to below $250, losing about half its value. Eventually, it began forming what looked like a W pattern, and the price broke above the neckline. At that point, many traders would enter immediately. I didn't. Because the previous downtrend had been so severe, I thought there was a reasonable chance the breakout might be tested with a pullback. Notice I said chance. I wasn't predicting that it had to happen. I was simply choosing to wait for confirmation. If the stock had continued higher without pulling back, I was perfectly okay missing the trade. There will always be another opportunity. In this case, the pullback did happen. Price came back to the neckline of the W pattern, held as support, and confirmed that the breakout was valid. That's where I entered. Before entering the trade, I already knew exactly where my stop loss would go, below the recent swing low. Then I set my profit target using a 1-to-2 risk-to-reward ratio. That gave me a potential gain of roughly 30% while defining my risk before I ever placed the trade. Was it the perfect entry? No. Did I buy the exact bottom? Definitely not. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to wait for confirmation, define my risk, and let the probabilities work over time. For me, that's what patience looks like. It's not trying to predict every move. It's having a plan, waiting for the setup you want, and being completely comfortable if the market never gives it to you. This lesson took me years. Like many traders, I kept searching for the perfect indicator for Renko. I even spent a lot of time building Pine script strategies that I hoped would automate everything. Eventually I realized something. No indicator can replace good judgment. Indicators can support a decision. They shouldn't make the decision for you. Today I still use indicators, but I don't expect them to do the thinking for me. Let me show you 3 different charts, all using the same supertrend indicator. I still use supertrend today because I think it's a very useful indicator. But here's the important lesson. The indicator supports my decision. It doesn't make the decision for me. When the trend is strong and orderly, the supertrend usually does a very good job of helping me stay with the trend. But when the market becomes choppy or starts moving sideways, the indicator begins flipping between bullish and bearish signals. That's when I stop relying on the indicator alone. Instead, I start asking other questions. Is the overall trend still healthy? Where are the support and resistance levels? Do my trend lines still make sense? Does this chart fit my trading plan? The indicator gives me information. I still have to do the thinking. That's the biggest lesson I learned. Indicators can support a decision. They should never replace your judgment, your analysis, or your trading plan. One thing Renko taught me is to stop trying to predict what the market will do next. Instead, I simply ask, what is the market doing right now? That sounds simple. But it's a completely different mindset. I use trend lines and price structure to help me stay with strong trends instead of trying to guess every reversal. Sometimes I'm late entering. Sometimes I miss the very beginning of a move. I've learned that's perfectly fine. I'd rather join a healthy trend than constantly try to catch the exact turning point. Now let's take a look at this chart as if it were unfolding in real time. We can see the downtrend becoming stronger until the stock finds support around the $100 level. It briefly breaks below that support, but buyers quickly step back in. At this point, I'm starting to pay attention because it looks like a potential reversal may be forming. Over the next several bricks, the price begins building a base between roughly $100 and $120. That's encouraging, but I'm still waiting for confirmation. I don't want to assume the trend has changed just yet. Eventually, the breakout occurs, confirming the reversal. Now my focus shifts to waiting for the first healthy pullback. And that's exactly what happens. The pullback holds just below $120, and buyers step back in. For this example, Let's say I decide to enter around $135 after the pullback confirms. The stock then pulls back once more, but this time it stays above the breakout neckline, which is exactly what I want to see. Once the new swing low is confirmed, the uptrend begins to do what strong trends often do. It resumes its advance, eventually climbing to $200. Then the market pulls back again. This time, the pullback drops below $180. And even breaks below the previous swing low near $170. Now I have a decision to make. Do I sell everything? Or do I stay with the trend? For me, it depends on my investment objective. If I'm treating this as a long-term investment in a company I still believe in, I might sell part of my position to lock in some profits while continuing to hold the rest. Then I simply watch the next pullback. Can it hold above the previous support around $130? As it turns out, it does. The pullback holds, buyers return, and the uptrend picks up again. Soon the stock breaks above the previous high near $200 and continues moving higher. This example illustrates an important lesson. I'm not trying to predict every top or every bottom. I'm simply following the trend as it develops and making decisions based on what the market is actually doing, rather than what I think it should do. This may be the biggest lesson of all. Years ago I was focused on finding the perfect strategy. Now my goal is much simpler. I want a process that helps me make better decisions consistently. Sometimes buy and hold wins. Sometimes an active strategy wins. That's okay. My objective isn't to prove that Renko is better than everything else. It's to use Renko as a tool that helps me stay disciplined, reduce emotional decisions, and better understand market trends. For me, that's where Renko really shines. If you've watched my channel for a while, you've probably noticed that my videos have evolved. I'm spending less time chasing the perfect indicator, and more time understanding why trends develop, how to stay patient, and how to make better long-term decisions. That's probably the biggest lesson Renko has taught me. Not how to predict the future, but how to think more clearly about the market that's right in front of me. That's a wrap on today's breakdown. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe for more Renko trading insights. Don't forget the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.